School board meeting of March 13th at 5:30 p.m. for a regular meeting. I did not state. Mr. Brooks, if you could please record the members present or absent, and I will establish a quorum. Let's please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, everybody should have had a chance to take a look at the agenda. Could I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So, second.
Okay, any discussion? Other than we do have a typo on there, I don't know if that matters. Under the, I just seen it.
Racial planting.
Yeah, Lori Schultz planting. No. I know I'm planting, but no.
Planting out.
Yeah, I don't know if that really matters, but. Okay, no further discussion. There is a motion on the floor to go ahead and approve the agenda as written. Those in favor, please vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Next on our agenda is approval of consent agenda, items 7 through 9. If we need to pull any of those out for separate discussion, we can do so now. Okay, hearing none, I would accept a motion to go ahead and approve consent agenda, items 7 through 9. Okay,
I'll
Gordon?
second.
And second by Rob?
Yep.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion on the floor, please vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 10, hearing of delegations. Mr. Shaw, you're up later, great.
Thanks.
All right. Okay, well, nobody else to talk to us, so we'll move on to number 11, the administrative report.
I'll just touch on a couple of the legislative items. Obviously, the 7% funding took place, so we'll see if that gets signed in where it's at here after the 27th. But right now, it was a 7% increase to the state aid formula for schools. Senate Bill 59, that deals with some CTE grants, possibly for equipment. That went through at $5 million. I believe it's matching type grants. We'll have to see exactly what would qualify for that. It hasn't come out yet. You're obviously aware that the House Bill 1137, the 4.2% tax decrease, went down to 4.2 with a 2-year sunset. Senate Bill 129 would have included school staff in the codified law as far as protections of assault. And the governor vetoed that a couple days ago, so we'll see if that gets overridden or not. I'm not really sure why. It would have been very beneficial for schools to have that. There'll be a few different things. There's a bill out there, 168, and again, we'll have to get all the details from associated school boards that we'll probably have to have a different policy dealing with situation where the students charged with rape and providing class at a different site type of thing. General bills, let's see, the Opportunity Scholarship, that's for those kids going to college, that was increased, that passed. It was 1055. The resolution 6001, dealing with Department of Ed to study optional educational paths. I know we've been in support of a CTE route being one path to add, so we'll see if that, just because it went through the current resolution doesn't mean it'll be a summer study. So hopefully it will be assigned a summer study, and I guess I haven't heard if it was one that is assigned or not. House Bill 1191, truancy bill, that went through easily. It was cleaning up that when we deal with truancy issues, it's for students that are attending here. It's not for homeschool students in our community or private schools. It's for students in our school building. So overall, the legislative session was a pretty positive session for schools. 7%. Going into it, the governor had proposed 5. Inflation was up, we were hoping between 6 and 7, and going into the last couple of days, they had 3 sheets in appropriations. One was at 4.4, one was at 6, one was at 7.1, so they ended up to 7, so it's gonna be a whole lot happier than that, I don't think. I touched on last month that our current provider for our DOT for our bus drug testing informed us that they'd be done at the end of March. So we have entered into agreement with Madison Regional and Sanford Occupational Health to manage what's a requirement we have to have in place for our bus drivers for random drug testing. So that will take effect April 1st. The main difference is before they were tested here, now we'll have to go to the hospital and have those tests done. We'll talk about facility study a little later. Shipment of Lysol wipes, 40 pallets showed up, 2,400,000 wipes. We came a day early, which wasn't a good thing because we were trying to move snow yet and didn't have the loading dock open. But to date, we've distributed to 17 school districts that have come pick them up. So Arlington, Baltic, Chester, Coleman-Egan, Del Rapids, Elton Lake, Benton, Flandreau, Hamlin, Harrisburg, Howard, Lake Preston, the Cook Central, Montrose, Oldham, Ramona, Rutland, T, and West Central have all picked up pallets, and I think we have a couple more yet. We're going to try to see if anybody wants one more type of thing. We'll be done with that. But great product. We've been using them, so we're thrilled that we got them, and every school that got them was smiling as well, happy to get them. So
That's great.
Weather-related school days. Just keep track. We've had 5 no school. We've had 3 distance learning and 1 staff in-service distance learning. In late starts and early dismissals, we've had 10 of them since we started doing this. So it's been, I've got the messenger on speed dial right now.
I will say it's a very, these past couple that you've done, I don't think the people in town necessarily needed it, but those of us who are out in the country, anybody who's living in the country, the roads were impassable until somebody came down them.
Yeah.
And like my road, the plow has not been coming down them. It has been individuals going down and cleaning them.
Even today, when we said buses were possible, we found out one wasn't possible the hard way, but that happens. And we got it out. So today and tomorrow, just some upcoming dates. We have conferences, evening conferences going on. Spring break Thursday and Friday, and then April 10th. A reminder that that day has changed to a school day. It's not a vacation day come April 10th. So that's what I have to share. I know Mr. Shaw is going to share a couple things with us as well.
So tomorrow we'll have a college and career fair here. We've got, I want to say, 40 businesses and 30 colleges coming in. So it should be a really good experience for our kids. We also have, I believe, Flandreau, Chester, and Oldham, Ramona coming to it as well. So Lori Christensen kind of coordinated it with DSU, and it'll be a good event for our kids. So we've always wanted to do this, so we'll see how it goes. We're in the process of dealing with registration. So we had the registration career fair, class fair on Friday, and the kids are getting their classes done now, and it's amazing. I'm glad our kids are so passionate. I had a couple in my office in tears today trying to figure out what they were going to take and what they were going to do, and it actually is a fun experience. I know tears aren't wonderful, but yet dealing with some of that to embrace them and talk about career, and I'm so happy that we have parents that engage with us and their kids are super passionate about their education. So I commend a lot of our kids and parents for what we give and what they give us and what we get to do. So we've got 11 students who have had artwork entered into the visual art competition in Rapid City this next coming weekend. And then Audra Lynham, who is a first-year teacher with us, teaches English. She was published in Edutopia the other day. She wrote an article about the process of being a first-year teacher and how to embrace that, and so it was a really good article. So
What's the publication?
it's called Edutopia. So it's a kind of a national website that deals with education. So,
That's great.
yeah. That's what I got for now. Busy time of year, trying to get ready for next year.
Yeah, I think it's credit to the students here that they take their academics pretty seriously for the most part. There were a few that reached out to, my daughter,
Yep.
asking, how did you make this all work, and do
Yep.
all this stuff. And so that, I think that says a lot for students, that they
Very much so.
take it serious.
I'm glad I'm dealing with that and the other side of things I can
Yes,
deal with.
yes, that's good. Okay, anything else?
No, I don't think so. Busy.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Mitch, did you have anything? Okay, all right. Okay, if there's nothing else there, we'll move on to number 12, approval of the Department of Education application for a waiver from an administrative rule for health to be taught in middle school for high school credit. I believe Mr. Shaw is going to talk to us about that.
Yep. So our graduation requirements allow us to offer credit while the kids are in middle school for health. So there's two ways of doing it. You can have a standalone 8th grade health, or you can do an integrated health, which is what we do in the middle school. So we teach health over 6th and 7th grade year. They have to have 70 hours of seat time, which they are well past. And then we can provide just a pass-fail, and it goes on their transcript, so that it allows us flexibility to open up some more offerings in the high school, where we're not tying Jared Yankee down to strictly teaching health and PE. He can go do some PE, Mr. Bundy can teach some other electives. So what it does is it provides us the freshmen flexibility coming in, where they can maybe then take some electives, and we're not binding them with a whole bunch of required classes right out of the gates. So we've been kind of cooking this around for about a year now, and I think now is, if we're going to make the time to do it, time's now. So that's why we brought it to you guys for approval.
Meredith Dossett will teach
Yeah,
that.
Meredith will teach it. She's actually certified to teach health in the high school, so it works out really good for us. So they'll just utilize the curriculum we're using, and we'll get them credit that way.
And we do something similar like this for algebra,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, algebra, and then we did, end of course waivers for geometry, so
What's the end of course waiver?
that would be I can test out of it.
So is this like algebra in the sense that people will have the choice?
They will have choice, so
Okay.
if they choose that they still want their child to take health, we'll still offer a health section of health in the
Okay.
high school.
Okay.
We'll have to anyway, just because in case we have kids transfer in, et cetera.
Okay.
Are there other classes that, besides health and algebra, that other school districts do this for?
There's, I was going through the list, there's a variety of things, like, some of them use their computer elective in the middle school. There's other things you can do. I don't want to pass everything into the middle school either. I think it's important that they do take a lot of the stuff up here. But a health class, they're getting the same material twice, so for us, it's kind of pointless to make them do it again when they just did it. We can get them credit for it.
Yeah, I just think it makes sense for us to try and go this route.
Okay, so we have a request to approve the Department of Education application for the waiver for the health being taught in the middle school for high school credit. Could I get a motion on that? Okay, by Rob, and a second.
Second.
Okay, second by Rich. Do we have any further discussion or questions, concerns, like that? Before we vote? All right, hearing none, there's a motion on the floor. All those in favor, please vote by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw, for bringing that to us. Okay, the next agenda item is to consider a facility study. Mr. Jorgensen.
So we talked about, excuse me, we talked about this last month a little bit, that we would put it on the agenda for this month. We've got different things that we've been looking at, and the next step would be to have a facility study done, have them come in and look at all of our facilities, we could have them, emphasis on certain areas if we want that, but the first thing we'd have to do is get a proposal out, gotta publish it, takes time. We get that out, we get proposals to come in, once they were open to look, we bring those to the board, or can decide if you wanna move on them, if you wanna, not move on. So our timeline, if we advertise right away, we're still talking, May before we have it from the board, because we've got to publish it a couple times, and then when they come in, we've gotta have time to go through them. And, we would miss the next board meeting, it just wouldn't fall in time. So we would bring it forward, then I guess the decision sort of would be, and Mitch, you can chime in on this, whether we wanna get that started so that if the board wants to make this motion and we get the proposals coming in, so you're not committing to any money tonight at all. It's just to put the request out to see what these proposals are, what these studies would do and the cost that would be associated with them. And if one's picked, we'd have to decide if we're gonna get it started immediately, we're gonna be in the May already, or if we're gonna have it be a July 1 start. And the difference being the budget, right, Mitch?
Yeah, yep. You know, if they come in favorable, we could start right away. If they come in a little more, we can amend the budget or ask to have it started in July, but.
And you can make that determination at that May meeting as well. But I just think we've talked about some different things over the years. If we're gonna start doing something with them, we need to start moving on it, and we need to start getting people involved that can give us some true ideas and studies and cost proposals on what we're talking about to do some of these things, so that you can plan, whether it's a year from now or 3 years from now, or whatever it may be, that you can start planning that and how we want to address the facilities and keep them top notch.
And so do I understand correctly that like the facility study too can include like interviews with administration, teachers, community members? I mean,
They'll
it can.
have a lot of different proposals, and
Right.
from one to the next it might be different. So
Right.
there again, if you like one better than the other,
Okay.
and they may have a range in price too,
Yeah.
and on what you're looking for. So that would happen with all the proposals that would come in, and we present them all to the board, and you can see which one you like or don't like. If you don't like any of them, reject them, and we can go out again another time. So I just think it's a step we need to take if we want to
Right.
keep moving forward.
Okay, could I have a motion for us to move forward with facility study proposal request? Okay, Rich, second?
Second.
Okay, Jordan, second. Do we have any further questions or discussion on that before we vote? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of the motion that's on the floor, please vote by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. Thank you for keeping us on task.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, the next agenda item is approving the issuance of the 23-24 certified contracts.
So these would go out just with our current contracts, is what we've done each year. Go out, and I remember the due date back is the end of
30th
the 30th.
of March.
It'll have this year's information on it until the time we get settlement negotiations in place, and addendum goes out to staff at that point in time.
And we have no reductions in force, so it'll be all staff that currently hold the contract will be issuing the contract for this next year.
Sometimes we have title, where we ask for a RIF because we don't have the numbers in, well, the numbers for a change are in, so we'll have to deal with that.
Wow, that's first time
ever,
in.
yeah.
Yep.
Wow, okay. All right, so, a motion to issue the 23-24 certified contracts with the same verbiage as the previous contract issued. Understanding that following negotiations, there will be an addendum attached to that contract.
So
So moved. Was that Rob? Sorry, you two kind of sometimes sound alike. And Rich, okay, Rob and Rich, it's a band. Okay, motion on the floor to go ahead and issue the 23-24 certified contracts. All those in favor, please vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. Okay, and our next agenda item is to enter into executive session in accordance with SDCL 125-2, Section 4, to prepare for negotiations. Can I get a motion for that? Okay, Jordan in a second. Take care, Steve. Okay.
There be no motion coming out.
Okay, there'll be nothing coming out, so. Thank you for
Thanks
coming.
for coming.